I'd like to briefly introduce the issue of working with systems approach while in research agriculture related to agriculture in the developing countries. Systems approach are important because most of the issues we're tackling are complex issues arising from complex systems. I mean, we are talking of nutrition security, we are trying to talking about poverty reduction, employment. So this requires to have a strong to take into account the whole complexity of the systems. For example, the fact that even if we develop new varieties, their implementation and their impact is very much depending on the other components of the agricultural systems. I mean, the management, the soil, the climate, and also very much depending on the context, the institutional context, the farm context. So this is one of the key aspects of the systems approach, is to be able to handle complexity in the implementation of innovation. But this means that you cannot have a system approach if it is not also relying on a strong component-based research, meaning having a research which is strong in each of the components of the system, on the soil, on the crops, on the social in science behind. So it's one of the strengths of the centers in which I am working, such as ICARDA, is to be able to combine both this component-based approach and a system approach. The problem with the system approach is if you deal with complex system, you may get lost in it and have no real actions. So it's important to develop and disseminate approaches that are operational, that can work with the data that you have in a limited time. So, and these approaches also have to be pretty much quantitative, because what we are dealing with is mostly trade-offs between different goals, trade-off between the environment or and the poverty reduction. And so it's important to have approaches where we can quantify this trade-off and quantify the risk that are related to a technology, for example, in a climate which is uncertain, or in the conditions, market conditions which are different, variable.